Warning: this common powder alters senior health. Most seniors overlook this $1 remedy, but it may ease pain, improve sleep, support kidneys, and fight inflammation. Doctors don't talk about it, but the science is quietly piling up. You probably never thought that the white powder tucked away in your pantry, yep, plain old baking soda, could be a key player in your journey toward healthy aging. But here's the surprising truth. While modern medicine races toward expensive solutions, one of the most underrated remedies for longevity has been sitting next to your flour all along. And no, it's not just for cookies or cleaning grout. As we age, our bodies face battles we didn't see coming. Stiff joints, digestive hiccups, sluggish recovery, and creeping inflammation. But what if a teaspoon of baking soda could quietly stand guard against some of these threats? Believe it or not, emerging science is leaning in. Sodium bicarbonate, that's the fancy name, supports smoother digestion, helps maintain proper cellular function, and may even act as a buffer against low-grade inflammation, one of aging's stealthiest saboteurs. Here's where it gets really interesting. 2018 study published in the Journal of Immunology found that baking soda may influence the spleen and reduce systemic inflammation. That means it's not just working in your gut, it's potentially helping your immune system age better too. Who would have guessed that your immune health could be influenced by something you could mix with water? Picture this. Margaret, 71, was skeptical too. She thought baking soda was for cookies and foot soaks. But after adding a half teaspoon to a glass of water before bed for 2 weeks, with her doctor's blessing, her nighttime bloating eased up. Her energy picked up in the morning, and her knees didn't scream every time she got up from her favorite recliner. Coincidence? Maybe, but she's not turning back, and no, you won't need to overhaul your life. Start small. Try it before bed, on an empty stomach. Stir it well. Half a teaspoon in 6-8 oz of water. Give it a 2-week trial, take a break, and always talk to your doctor first. Sounds too simple, right? That's what they said about flossing, until it changed heart health guidelines. But what's really fascinating is how baking soda steps up when nighttime discomfort creeps in. You know the feeling. It's late, you're ready to drift off, and suddenly, that familiar burn starts creeping up your chest. Acid reflux strikes again. And if you're like many seniors, it doesn't just ruin sleep. It steals energy, dampens mood, and chips away at your overall health. But here's something few people talk about. That humble baking soda in your cabinet could be your nighttime ally. When your stomach churns out too much acid, especially after dinner, it can back up into the esophagus, causing that hot, bitter sensation. Left unchecked, this can lead to chronic discomfort, esophageal damage, and disrupted rest. Now you might be thinking, I've tried antacids. Sure, but what if there's a natural, fast-acting alternative that doesn't come with a long list of side effects? Here's the deal. Baking soda is alkaline. That means it neutralizes stomach acid almost instantly, which can bring soothing relief in minutes. In fact, the U.S. National Library of Medicine notes that sodium bicarbonate has been used for decades as a safe, fast-acting remedy for heartburn. And unlike some meds that take 30 minutes to kick in, this can work in less than 5. Let me tell you about Robert, 68, who struggled with acid reflux that kept him up every other night. His doctor warned him that long-term acid exposure could damage his esophagus. Desperate, Robert gave the baking soda trick a try. 1-2 teaspoons in water before bed, as long as his stomach wasn't full. Within 3 nights, he was sleeping better than he had in months. And that meant more energy, clearer focus, and fewer cranky mornings. But here's what most folks don't realize. Poor sleep due to reflux doesn't just make you tired. It interferes with hormone balance, cognitive clarity, and even muscle recovery. Healthy aging is deeply tied to how well you sleep, and sleep is deeply tied to how well your stomach behaves at night. So, if you're tired of popping pills and sleeping propped up with a tower of pillows, maybe it's time to explore a gentler path. Because when you get your nights back, you get your life back. Now imagine waking up refreshed, and with muscles that bounce back faster than you thought possible. Let's be real. When you were younger, a bit of yard work or a long walk barely left a mark. These days, a stroll around the block or a light gardening session can leave you sore for 2 days straight. Sound familiar? Here's the kicker. It's not just aging muscles. It's the way your body handles acid buildup. And that's where baking soda sneaks in with a secret weapon for senior health. As we age, our muscle recovery slows down, not because we stop moving, but because our cells don't buffer lactic acid as efficiently. After even mild activity, your muscles may feel tight, heavy, or downright achy. But sodium bicarbonate, yep, baking soda, has been shown to help neutralize that acidic buildup, giving your muscles a fighting chance to bounce back quicker. There's actual science behind this. A 2019 review in Frontiers in Physiology showed that baking soda acts as an extracellular buffer, helping regulate muscular pH. Translation: it can help your muscles recover faster and reduce that lingering soreness. Think of it like giving your body a reset button after each activity. Take Elena, for example. She's 74 and still loves her Saturday morning Zumba class. But until recently, she'd spend most of Sunday recovering on the couch with ice packs. Then she tried adding baking soda water to her evening routine, just a small dose after her workout. Within a week, she noticed she was waking up less sore, more mobile, and with enough pep to chase her grandkids around the park the very next day. It's not a magic potion, but it does support the kind of active aging that keeps you feeling young. That's the difference between just surviving and actually thriving. Now, I'm not saying you should go run a marathon, but if you want to keep walking the dog, dancing in the kitchen, or playing golf without paying for it for days afterward, this tiny shift in your routine could be a game changer. And there's more. It's not just muscles that benefit. Your kidneys? They're paying attention too. Let's talk kidneys, the silent workhorses of your body. You don't often feel them at work, but every single day they filter about 50 gallons of blood, helping to balance fluids, remove waste, and regulate key nutrients. But as the years go by, these hard-working organs start to lose their edge. And here's the part that most folks don't know. If your kidneys start to slip, the effects show up in ways that mimic normal aging: fatigue, swelling, mental fog, and even bone loss. Now for the twist. There's growing evidence that baking soda might help slow this process. Yes, that same powder you use in your fridge to kill odors may actually protect aging kidneys from further decline. Wild, right? Here's the scoop. A 2021 meta-analysis in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that sodium bicarbonate supplementation helped patients with chronic kidney disease, CKD, by reducing the effects of metabolic acidosis, a sneaky condition where too much acid builds up in the body because failing kidneys can't clear it properly. This acid buildup quietly damages organs and accelerates aging. But baking soda? It buffers that acid, helping take the load off your kidneys. Now don't go gulping it down without guidance. If you have blood pressure concerns or are on sodium-sensitive medications, it's absolutely essential to check with your doctor. But if you're a good candidate, even a tiny dose can ease the daily burden on your kidneys and support your overall longevity. And guess what? Your joints, those aching knees and swollen toes, may be next in line to benefit from this gentle, alkalizing trick. Hold on a second. Before we get to the next surprising benefit, let me ask you this. What if one small change tonight could actually shape how you feel every day from now on? Curious? I've pinned something below that expands on this idea. It's where the real aha moment clicks. Go take a peek at the pinned comment, then come right back. You won't want to miss what's coming next. You ever get woken up by your big toe? That sharp stabbing pain that feels like a hot knife twisting into your joint? If you've experienced gout or even just chronic joint discomfort, you know it's more than a nuisance. It can derail your entire day or week. But here's what few people realize. Joint pain, especially in the form of gout, is deeply connected to acid buildup. And wouldn't you know it, baking soda steps in here too, quietly offering relief in ways that'll make you rethink that little orange box. Gout happens when uric acid builds up in your blood, eventually forming needle-like crystals in your joints. These crystals cause that familiar redness, swelling, and intense pain. Most flare-ups hit at night, when your body's temperature drops and circulation slows. That's when uric acid becomes more likely to crystallize. So here's the key. Reducing acidity helps your body flush that stuff out, and that's where baking soda shines. A small amount of sodium bicarbonate can raise your urinary pH, making your urine more alkaline. This helps dissolve uric acid and encourages your kidneys to excrete it more efficiently. It's like giving your joints a much-needed break from internal warfare. Meet Sheila, 66, who had resigned herself to old age aches until a nutritionist suggested a natural approach. 2 weeks of baking soda water before bed, half a teaspoon in 6 oz of water, led to lighter mornings and more flexible ankles. She could slip into her shoes without wincing, and even started going for evening walks again. Now, let's bust a myth. This isn't just about joints, it's about circulation, mobility, independence, and yes, your body's internal chemistry. You're not just getting old. Sometimes your body is simply crying out for balance. And balance in this case might be as close as your kitchen shelf. And if this simple shift can melt away joint stiffness, imagine what it could do for your body's overall balance. pH, energy, immunity, all tied together in ways most never consider. Let's pull back the curtain on something that's quietly affecting everything from your energy to your immune system. Your body's pH balance. Sounds technical, I know, but stay with me because this might just explain why you're feeling more tired, inflamed, or run down than you used to. And the surprise twist? That same baking soda you've used to freshen your fridge might actually be the low-cost secret weapon to help restore equilibrium in your aging body. Here's the deal. Your body thrives in a slightly alkaline state. But as we age, especially if our diets lean toward processed foods, caffeine, sugar, and red meat, our systems tilt acidic. That imbalance can interfere with how your cells repair, how your immune system fights, and even how your bones stay strong. Over time, this silent acidity contributes to low-grade inflammation, faster aging, and decreased resilience. Now imagine your body like a garden. If the soil's too acidic, the plants wither. Your cells are no different. That's why some forward-thinking health experts are now looking at natural alkalizing agents, like baking soda, as gentle tools for restoring internal harmony. A nightly dose of sodium bicarbonate, taken properly, may help your body buffer this acidity and promote a more favorable internal environment. The goal isn't perfection, it's better balance. A 2020 study in nutrition and healthy aging even suggested that mild alkalinity can enhance cellular longevity by improving mitochondrial function. That's your energy engine, by the way. Let's take Harold, 72, who felt constantly sluggish and blamed it on aging. But after working with a functional medicine practitioner, he added just a bit of baking soda to his nighttime routine. Within a week, he noticed clearer thinking, fewer aches, and a weird but welcome bonus. His skin looked better. This isn't about turning your body into a science experiment. It's about supporting your aging journey in smarter, simpler ways. And when your internal chemistry is in tune, a lot of things start clicking into place, like fewer infections and better sleep. And speaking of sleep, ever notice how UTIs always seem to strike in the middle of the night, especially for women? Well, there's a link there too, and let's be honest, dealing with UTIs isn't just frustrating, it's exhausting. For many older women, they're a recurring nightmare. Burning, urgency, and those maddening wake-ups in the middle of the night when you feel like you have to go, but barely can. And while antibiotics play their role, few people talk about what can help ease the discomfort naturally, especially at night. That's where baking soda comes in, not as a cure, but as quiet support your body might be craving. As you age, shifts in hormones and immune defenses can allow certain bacteria to take hold more easily. When your urine is too acidic, those microbes flourish. Baking soda, when taken correctly, can help neutralize the acidity, creating an environment less favorable for bacterial growth. It's a subtle shift that may reduce irritation, ease that burning feeling, and even help you sleep through the night. Finally, Carla, 67, struggled for years with frequent infections and sleepless nights. Under medical guidance, she added a small bedtime dose of baking soda water to her routine. Within days, the nighttime urgency eased, and the burning dulled. She wasn't cured, but she got her nights back, and her days felt lighter. This gentle support helps more than your bladder. When you're finally sleeping, your immune system gets stronger, your inflammation lowers, and your body regains some calm. And in that calmer state, it just might fight off something even bigger. Cancer is a word no one wants to hear, but if it enters your life, every bit of support matters. Some early research shows baking soda may alter the acidity around tumors, making them more responsive to treatment. It doesn't replace medical care, never, but under strict supervision, it could play a small supportive role. Tumors often thrive in acidic environments. Baking soda, being alkaline, might help shift that balance. In a few pilot studies, patients using it alongside standard treatment reported fewer side effects and better tolerance. That's not magic. It's chemistry, gently nudged in the right direction. Alan, 70, added a supervised dose of baking soda to his evening routine during therapy. He didn't expect much, but his fatigue eased, and his body handled treatment better. Again, never do this without medical guidance, but it shows how even small changes can support your strength. And when it comes to chronic inflammation, especially in conditions like RA, the story gets even more interesting. If you wake up with stiff, swollen joints that make everyday movements feel like a chore, you're not alone. Rheumatoid arthritis doesn't just hurt. It wears down your energy, limits your independence, and quietly affects how you feel about life. But there's something fascinating about baking soda. It may help calm that inner storm. A 2018 study from the Medical College of Georgia suggested that a daily dose of baking soda could signal the spleen to reduce inflammatory activity. That means less immune overreaction, the kind that triggers RA flare-ups. The key? It helps nudge your immune system out of overdrive, giving your body a break from the constant fight. And when inflammation quiets down, your body can finally focus on healing what matters most. Of course, it only helps if it's used safely and wisely. Baking soda may be simple, but it's not for everyone. Just 1-2 teaspoons in 6 to 8 hours of water before bed, on an empty stomach, is enough. No more. No doubling up. 2 weeks on, then take a break. Used right, it's gentle. Misused, it can raise blood pressure or stress the kidneys. It's not recommended if you have heart issues, are on sodium-sensitive meds, or have serious kidney concerns. Always check with your doctor. Natural doesn't mean risk-free. When used wisely, it becomes a quiet ally, helping your body reset while you sleep. One small glass, one small shift. Over time, that's where change begins. Now, ready for what happens after just 2 weeks of this nightly habit? What if one small glass could ease pain, support sleep, and help your body fight back? Watch now to see the change. Which symptom hit you hardest? Comment below and subscribe for more. And don't miss the pinned comment. Seriously,